just want to get your thoughts on going into Seattle. I'm sure you watched them the other night in their Champions League game. Just your overall thoughts of facing them as the third game of the year here.
Yeah, again, I thought they looked good the other night. I thought it's probably arguably the best they've played in the season so far. I thought they looked very dangerous in their counterattack. They were organized defensively. And obviously they have quality players who can hurt you if they've given chances. But for sure in the counterattack, they looked very dangerous. So for us, I think we got to continue with our formula, which is we got to continue to defend together as a group and make sure we choose our moments when we can be higher on the field and opposing them in their half, and choose when we need to stay together as a group and make it difficult and just close off spaces. We got to be good in possession, and we've got to continue to create opportunities. I thought we did a nice job in this last game of getting into good spots, creating opportunities. We probably needed to get a little bit more out of our opportunities than we did, but I thought there were some good aggressive moments for us. But again, it's a little bit of going into Seattle against a good team, having a good mentality, and being able to manage the environment and manage the situation for 90 minutes. I think we've also done a great job of doing that and giving ourselves a chance in every game to win the game. So that's a good mindset for us now. We'd like for more things to be in the back of the net, but that's a work in progress.
What's the status of Victor Vasquez?
Victor's good. He trained today. So we'll see how he responds, but in general, he's doing okay.
We'll go with Josh Gesson.
Hey, Greg, how are you doing?
Hey, Josh, great, thanks.
Wanted to follow up a little bit with Damien. I mean, the fact that Seattle doesn't have any wins right now in league play doesn't really mean anything to you. Is that fair to say?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it's an experienced team. I know they're trying to also manage through the amount of games that they have in the early part of the season. So they've mixed their group. They've rotated some guys. They've played a couple different systems. So it's for sure. Look, we've been in this before. When you're in Champions League and you're going to have a run, and having to manage through this time period is not easy. They've got to deal with some injuries as well. So, but they're always a dangerous team. They know how to win. They're always, at the top every season. So it's a team that we have to obviously respect, regardless of what their record is, because it won't be like that at the end of the season. We all know that. So.
And then on Eric Avila as well. Now I think with you guys adding him to the roster, maybe 5 or 6 center back options for you. What type of role do you want him to play in this team? And does this give you a lot of formational flexibility as well?
Yeah, the role for Eric that we talked about is just to come in and bring his experience, his leadership, his communication. He's a guy that can help a young player like Julian. He provides us some, as you said, some depth in the position, also some flexibility if we wanted to play in a 3 at some point. He's done a lot of that, both in the middle and wide. But he gives us an option. It's also great for our training environment to have another guy who's vocal and has experience, and great for our locker room. So, all those there. Other than that, we'll, how he progresses, when he's ready, when everything looks right, he'll get his opportunities when they come. There's competition in the position, but it definitely gives us some flexibility to consider some more options than maybe, with his experience and maybe we had more recently.
I know when you were talking to Damien a little bit there, you were saying, focusing on the defensive side of things is important, and you'll take 34 shutouts, I think, as you said, after the last game. That would be just fine. But is there a little bit of frustration from maybe the offensive side of things that you guys are creating the chances but not finishing right now?
I think individuals are a little frustrated, maybe that they just didn't take some chances that were there for them. We've looked at some things just to maybe try to tighten up some of our final connections between the passer and the runners, making sure we get runners into the right spaces, maybe to try to improve upon our chances, increase them a little bit more. But some of it's just sharpness, some of it's timing. But I think the key here is that we're getting those chances. We got to keep doing that. I think we'll keep working on the training field, and guys will keep working. The frustration is just mostly guys feeling like they should have taken their chances better than maybe they did in the moment. But that also gives them some motivation every week to get out and work on some of the things and try to improve. There isn't any complacency in that side of things, that's for sure. So But again, I think we've defended well and making sure that we're connected back to front as a group, and our front guys are taking as much pride as the back guys in getting shutouts. And when we do that, it also helps support our attack. We recover balls in better places. We give ourselves a better shot on the attacking side when we defend well, which is key for us for sure.
Perfect. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll go with Andy Dialto next with Yahoo.
Hey Greg, I just wanted to see a little bit of your assessment on Kevin Cabral. I noticed in the Charlotte game when he switched wings, he had a few different opportunities on the right side.
Yep.
Is that something you kind of look into going forward, trying to get other people in the fold, or is just experimenting there?
No, I like when our wingers sometimes change sides because they're, obviously with Douglas out there, Kevin, when they are on the sides that they started on, then they're kind of inverted. They're coming inside to do a lot of things. When they flip to the other sides, their aggressiveness to get to the end line, to get behind the back line. Kevin whipped in some great balls behind the back line on the right side. Sometimes when he gets to that end line on his left side, the crosses aren't as clean yet, but it's something he's working on. So it gives fullbacks a different look when the wingers want to go inside versus when they're on their natural side and they want to go to the end line. It's just a different defending, expectation on the fullbacks that are defending them. So I like when they switch because I think it just gives the opposition a little bit different look from time to time, but it's kind of in the flow of things. It's not something that they are specifically looking to do, but if they end up on opposite sides in a play or whatever, then we're perfectly comfortable with the place change and they're both comfortable in those roles. But those are things that I like for this group to do as we get more uncomfortable with each other. I like for guys to show up in different spots and be able to handle the responsibility in the spot that they're in that given moment. So but I thought he had some good service and some good runs and some good actions on the right side. And he had some decent moments on the left side where, again, just that final piece needs to be just a little tidier. But I will also say, if Kevin, he's given us a really good shift defensively. That's part of what's helped our team to be solid. He puts in a really, really sound defensive shift for our group, which is helpful too.
We'll go with Robert Jalen.
Hey Greg, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now that you've completed Eric's signing, are you still looking to add anybody? And if so, kind of in what area of the pitch are you looking to do that?
Yeah, we're continuing to assess. We still have 2 open roster spots in our 20, so it's there. We still have resources and funds to be able to do that. Just continuing to see how the group continues to evolve. We have loads of attacking options, I feel like, so it's not necessarily in those spaces that we're looking. We're kind of assessing Jorge Villafana's situation. He's got an issue that he's carried over from last year with his knee. Just he might have to have a more in-depth look at that, a little scope or something early next week to see where we're at with him. So hopefully he's okay, but that's going to take us a little time, so we're kind of monitoring that situation. I think also, I've talked about it in midfield. There's a possibility along the way to maybe add one more midfielder. We'll see how it shapes up. But the team's doing okay right now, and guys are stepping in and doing their jobs, and that gives us some flexibility to be patient and make sure that as our season progresses, that there's not anything that pops up that is urgent, let's say.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
We'll take one last one from Chris Maldonado.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, Chris.
Playing in Seattle, that means back-to-back games on turf. Obviously, there's a bit of older legs in the squad this year. Does this mean you guys will probably kind of take a moment to give some play time to the younger players, or do you feel like it's maybe not going to be a big issue for some of our older players to be playing on turf this weekend? And if so, will maybe guys like Julian see a substantial amount of minutes in Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, I think the good and bad part is we don't love to be on turf in general. The other bad part is just backing up weeks. But I will say it's been nice that we've had a full week. Guys have had they got a little bit of an extra day of recovery coming off the turf and the travel. Everybody's feeling pretty good physically. There's no, I don't have any reason to necessarily rotate anyone. Everyone is feeling good and everybody wants to play. We'll we'll assess as we go into the game. As I said, with Victor and with others, we'll assess if it's the right moment. The good news is that at the end of this little stretch, we'll have gotten 3 of our 5 turf games out of the way on the season. I think it's 5, and we'll be on the other side of that. But so far, I think everybody is pretty good. Everybody is happy with where the team is. I don't think anybody really wants to have a day off right now. I think everybody is feeling some momentum on our side, and they want to keep that going more than they want to hide from the turf a little bit. But we'll be smart about anything that's popping up, and if we can be on the right side of the game, we can also make some decisions as the game progresses. But we got to get on the right side before you can do any of that. So.
Thanks, Kev.
Yeah.
Greg, thank you
That's
so
it.
much. for
Okay.
your time.
Thank you. Take care.